It's still real to me, damn it!
Yep.
Pure electric sex.
The sex is good!
RK stud. Hey everyone, I have for you 4 wrestling DVDs. So the first one I got was Hart and Soul, the Hart Family Anthology. I know it came out in April or May of last year when Stu Hart was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Well, I'm just finally now just getting it. For those of you that don't know, it kind of delves into the backstory of the Hart family, beginning from Stu all the way to, well, now since then they've broken up, the Hart Dynasty. And of course, you know, highlights do include, you know, the Hart kids growing up rich and then poor, and then coming back on rich again, and tragedy with Owen and everyone else that was dying and stuff. The matches on there too are just some of the very good ones. Let me go through some of them. You know, it has them, you know, Hart Foundation against the British Bulldogs. I mean, legendary matches from the 80s. Just between them two teams were just dynamic. The way all 4 worked, even though all 4 were kind of related to each other. No wonder they were so great. The only bad thing I can say is, the end, they do have Hart Dynasty on there in a match against D-Generation X. You know, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Didn't have them winning. They kind of ended like on downhill, even though Natalia's on there and TJ's on there and Harry's on there, and they're all saying the best is yet to come. Well, yeah, the best is yet to come, but it also happened so quick and so fast you guys were done and over with. I mean, as far as for me and for anyone else that truly loves the Harts, no ifs, ands, or buts about them, definitely get it. Even if you're not a big Hart fan, there is some of the best wrestling that's on there. I don't know just why everyone out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada was so good. It's definitely worth getting. Strong B. Okay, and I got this not too long ago in the $5 bin at Walmart. Love the $5 bins, especially when there's wrestling. It's the Spectacular Legacy of the AWA, which was a promotion out of Minnesota that ran through the 50s all the way through 90, 91. Of course, for those of you that don't know, this is what I'm telling you. The main area, basically, territory was Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago, Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, and at all points kind of far and in between. What can I tell you other than a lot of the stars from the AWA kind of went into legends in WWE, like Hogan, Bobby the Brain Heenan, I guess Vern Gagne since they've inducted him. Let's see, Mean Gene Okerlund, and even the former governor, Jesse Ventura. It was just a 2-disc one. The matches were kind of short. I think there was like 12 matches for like 3 hours. So they were kind of short, but going all the way back from like 74, I believe. And the documentary of it was just so slow for an hour and 45 minutes. You're like, this seems like it's 3 hours. Well, no, it's only an hour and 45 minutes, but it just dragged on, and you felt sorry that the promotion was folding, and I wanted to get it years ago when it was out full price, but for $5, I work with the $5. So it's a decent buy. If you're not really interested in it, don't buy it. If you really want to kind of learn your history of wrestling territories, a C- will, at best, will do. Next one, I bought this the same time I bought AWA. I bought this full price, you know, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby grew up, well, he started in sport in the 60s in Indianapolis, which is close to home for, I'll just go ahead and say it. Indianapolis is near where my dog was born at, so there's kind of like a little connection I have with Bobby the Brain Heenan right now. Bobby worked for the legendary Dick the Bruiser's WWA promotion. I also know it as Bruiser Bedlam. Then he went on to AWA and here and there, but he was mainly known as manager for the AWA and WWE. And I find Bobby Heenan very good, very funny, very witty. Again, this one's a 2-disc set. You know, there's people talking about Bobby, and then Bobby the Brain Heenan biography, documentary, if you will. The only thing is, the second disc was just compiled of just a few matches, and then one of him just showcasing his commentary at the 1992 Royal Rumble. And I feel that they could have found some more Bobby the Brain footage. There's especially one from WWA. I have on a self-made DVD and 3 other tapes, Bobby Heenan along with Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza against Dick the Bruiser, the Crusher, and Little Crusher. It's the same match. I felt they could have put that one on there because you don't necessarily see a decent wrestler going up against a midget and making it look so well. Bobby, however, does. I find him personally very entertaining. I even have his biography, and let me tell you, it's really good. If you want to go back and relive them days, definitely a B-. Okay, and last but not least, Chris Jericho, Breaking the Code Behind the Walls. Yeah, it's a 3-disc set. Goes through his entire career, which, if you're a Jerichoholic like me, you already have his autobiography, and you know the road that he's traveled. And there's also 2 discs of Jericho matches. For the most part, you're getting very good majority of his best work. And this comes highly recommended. Again, I give it just a solid B. The only problems I do have with this one, however, is his time in Mexico when he was known as Corazon de Leon. There was no matches from Mexico. I would really like to have seen how he graduated from then till now. Another thing that upset me was when he was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, they only did a couple little goofy thrill seeker videos and a short little match against the Infernos. I mean, if you want to showcase Jericho, why don't you just show the main Chris Jericho match ever in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which is him and Lance Storm going up against the Heavenly Bodies. Jericho earlier that day broke his arm riding a motorcycle. Was very limited in that match doing things that he did. And he came out looking to me like future star of wrestling, which he is. Another thing that just irritated me is there was only one match from Japan. I would have really liked to have seen a little bit more from them too, but of course WWE, nothing matters before WWE. They had to make sure that they took up the majority of the matches, and which everyone kind of already remembers seeing, especially his memorable little feud with Stephanie McMahon, in which he calls her every which name in the book. I can't remember them all. And it also shows a few matches from his return. Other than that, as a Jerichoholic and the fact that he's now on Dancing with the Stars at this time, you owe it to yourself to really get this. Just a strong B. While we're at it at this time, since this is WrestleMania season, since we have a lot of things going on in wrestling right now, there are just a few things that I would like to make mention. Everyone that I know doesn't like the fact that The Rock has returned for WrestleMania to host it and maybe possibly do some other stuff. I, however, do like it. He's confronting Cena. He's confronting The Miz. I can't help but be proud of The Miz because he looks up to his idol, the RK Stud. He looks at my posters every day and he says he's The Miz and he's awesome. Where did he get that from? He got that from RK Stud. Thank you very much, world. I don't find any fault with The Rock confronting little baby Cena and asking if he wanted the Fruity Pebbles. If any of you saw that on Raw, you'll know what I'm talking about, getting a kick out of that. And recently, TNA just had their recent pay-per-view, and they had Sting taking on a very much inebriated Jeff Hardy in the main event. And the match only went just 2 minutes long at the most. TNA, I've done some contests entered for you. You know, how dare you go to the fans and throw that type of main event in there just for that little bit because someone was inebriated like Jeff Hardy. Well, let me just go off here, world. And for all you Jeff Hardy fans, all you little boys and girls that just seem to think that Jeff Hardy's God, he ain't nothing. Ever since day one when I seen him, I've always been a bigger fan of Matt. Jeff, however, doesn't like working a lot. He's always shown up that I know of inebriated, in no working condition, no shows, but yet you people all want to see that he's God and he's your hero. And I remember watching a show not too long ago called either the Parking Lot or something, where they were following just groups of people waiting for concerts and wrestling shows. They had one big fat dude, no it wasn't me, who was just sitting out there waiting to see Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy was his idol. He was his favorite superstar. And then they showed him just a little bit later and he's crying because Jeff Hardy no-showed. You know, if you're a big fat man and you have to bawl because some guy no-shows, I feel personally sorry for you. But, I mean, come on, you people love him for some unknown reason. I mean, Jeff Hardy right now is in the midst of legal problems with drugs down in North Carolina, and they keep continuing it on. I hope, TNA, you fire this bum, and 2, I hope he gets a lengthy prison sentence from doing all the stuff he's done. Okay, now back to your regular thing. I'm sorry to get off on a tangent there, people. As it is, those are all the DVDs I have for you now. We will see you next time.